The complete horror story. Disturbing true scary stories to the smiling family. I bought the house at 1847 Maple Street for $30,000, a quarter of its market value. The real estate agent, a nervous woman named Patricia, had been almost too eager to finalize the sale. "Just so you know," she'd said as I signed the papers, "the previous owners left in a hurry. They didn't take anything with them. Furniture, clothes, everything's still there." "Why?" I asked. She'd looked away. They didn't say. That should have been my first warning. My name is James Crowley, and I'm a freelance writer who'd been searching for an affordable place in a decent neighborhood. The house was perfect. A 1920s colonial with original hardwood floors, a wraparound porch, and a backyard that bordered a small woods. The fact that it came fully furnished was a bonus I couldn't pass up. I moved in on a Saturday in late September. The previous owners, the Hendersons, according to mail still stuff in the mailbox, had indeed left everything. The living room was staged like a showroom. Tasteful furniture, family photos on the mantel, children's toys in the corner. In the kitchen, I found dishes in the sink and food rotting in the refrigerator. They'd left in the middle of dinner. The photographs were what caught my attention first. They were everywhere, on walls, on tables, on the refrigerator. The Henderson family, a father, mother, teenage son, and young daughter. But something was off about every single photo. In each one, all four family members were smiling. Not natural smiles, wide, stretching grins that showed too many teeth, that pulled their faces into masks of forced joy. Even in candid shots, even in backgrounds where they clearly weren't posing, they were all smiling those same disturbing smiles. "Weird family," I muttered, taking down a particularly unsettling photo of them at the dinner table, all grinning at the camera while cutting into their food. That first night, I slept in the master bedroom. The Hendersons' clothes still hung in the closet. Their personal items cluttered the dresser. I'd planned to box everything up in the morning, donate it or trash it, but exhaustion from moving hit hard, and I collapsed onto their bed fully clothed. I woke at 3:47 a.m. to the sound of laughter. Children's laughter, high and bright, coming from downstairs. I sat up, heart pounding, listening. The laughter continued, joined by adult voices. A conversation I couldn't quite make out, punctuated by more laughter. I grabbed my phone and crept to the bedroom door. The voices grew clearer as I descended the stairs. Such a beautiful evening. So happy here. Never want to leave. The voices were coming from the kitchen. I pushed open the door, phone flashlight raised, and the room was empty. The voices cut off instantly, replaced by a silence so complete it felt oppressive. Then I saw them. The family photos I'd taken down were back on the refrigerator. Not just back, multiplied. Dozens of photos covered every inch of the appliance, all showing the Henderson family with those grotesque smiles. And in the newest photo, the one in the center, they were sitting at this kitchen table in this house, and they were all looking directly at the camera with expressions of pure manic joy. I tore the photos down, my hand shaking. Behind them, scratched into the refrigerator's surface, were words. "We're so happy here." I didn't sleep the rest of that night. I sat in my car in the driveway until dawn, telling myself I'd imagined it, that stress and exhaustion had played tricks on my mind. In the morning light, I almost convinced myself, until I went back inside and found the kitchen exactly as I'd left it, except for one detail. On the table sat 4 plates of fresh food, still steaming. Pancakes, bacon, eggs, 4 glasses of orange juice, 4 sets of silverware arranged precisely. And in the center of the table, propped against a vase of fresh flowers, was a note in childish handwriting. "Please stay. We're so happy you're here." I ran to my car, hands fumbling with my keys. I called Patricia, tell her I want out of the sale, forfeit my deposit, whatever it took. But my phone rang before I could dial. Unknown number. Hello. I answered, heavy breathing. Then a child's voice, distorted and wrong. Where are you going, Mr. Crowley? Don't you want to be happy with us? I threw the phone onto the passenger seat and started the engine. That's when I saw them in my rearview mirror. The Henderson family stood on the porch, all four of them, smiling those terrible smiles, waving at me slowly, mechanically, their mouths stretched impossibly wide, splitting their faces nearly in half. But they couldn't be real. The Hendersons had abandoned this house. They were gone. This was... The daughter disappeared from the porch and reappeared in my back seat. I screamed and jerked the wheel. She sat there motionless, head tilted at an unnatural angle, that grotesque smile never wavering. We've been so lonely, she whispered. The house wants a family. We tried to leave, but it wouldn't let us. And now, her head tilted further, impossibly far. Now we're the house. I crashed through the closed garage door, my car slamming into the back wall. When I looked in the rear view mirror again, the girl was gone. The impact had deployed the airbag, and blood dripped from my nose. But I was alive. I was, hands pressed against car windows. All four Hendersons surrounded my vehicle, their faces pressing glass, breath fogging it up, those smiles never faltering. Their eyes were completely black, reflecting nothing. Be happy, they said in unison. Be happy here. Forever. The father's hand punched through the driver's side window. Glass sprayed across my lap. His fingers, too long, joints bending the wrong way, reached for me. I kicked open the passenger door and rolled out, scrambling to my feet. I ran through the garage, into the house, looking for another exit. Behind me, I could hear them following, their footsteps perfectly synchronized, their voices singing in harmony. Happy together, happy forever, happy in our home. I burst through the back door into the yard. The woods were maybe 50 yards away. If I could reach them, lose them in the trees. But the yard was wrong. It stretched endlessly in all directions, the woods receding further with each step I took. The grass beneath my feet felt soft and yielding, almost liquid. And when I looked back, the house had grown larger, its windows multiplying, its structure warping and expanding. The Hendersons emerged from the back door, still smiling, still advancing with that horrible synchronization. You can't leave, the mother called out. The house won't allow it. We tried, Mr. Crowley. We tried so hard. We ran to our car, just like you. We called for help, just like you. But the house keeps us. The house needs us. And now, she gestured to the expanding structure behind them. It needs you, too. The teenage son's jaw unhinged, dropping far too low, and his voice emerged like it was coming from somewhere deep underground. It feeds on happiness, on families, on the joy of a home. We resisted at first, tried to stay sad, stay scared. But it made us smile, made us laugh, made us perform happiness until we forgot what real happiness felt like. The ground beneath me was definitely liquid now, pulling at my shoes like mud. I was sinking, slowly but inevitably. The woods seemed miles away. Some houses are just hungry, the father said, his smile stretching until his face began to tear at the corners. This one's been hungry since 1924. We found documents in the attic, newspaper clippings about families that lived here. All of them left suddenly, or disappeared. The house has had so many families, Mr. Crowley, and it wants more. I was waist deep in the ground now. The earth was pulling me down with increasing force. Above me, the sky had darkened to a bruised purple, and the house loomed like a living thing, its windows like eyes, its door like a gaping mouth. The little girl knelt beside me, her movements jerky and puppet-like. She reached out and touched my face with fingers that felt like ice. "Don't fight it," she whispered. "Fighting only makes it hurt more." We fought for 3 months before we finally surrendered. 3 months of smiling until our faces ached, of laughing until we coughed blood, of pretending to be happy while the house fed on us, on what we used to be. "What happened to you?" I gasped, chest deep now, still sinking. "Where are the real Hendersons?" Her smile flickered for just a moment, and behind I saw pure terror, pure agony. "We're still here," she said, "trapped inside these things a house made. We can see through these eyes, but we can't control them. We've been screaming for help since the day we stopped being able to leave. But all that comes out is laughter." The ground closed over my head. I was pulled down through soil that felt like flesh, through darkness that pulsed with something like a heartbeat. And then, impossibly, I was standing in the living room of 1847 Maple Street. The furniture looked newer, the walls brighter. Morning sunlight streamed through the windows. I ran to the front door and pulled. It wouldn't open. I ran to the windows. They wouldn't open. I ran to the back door, the basement door, the garage. Nothing would open. Every exit was sealed. And then I saw it, my reflection in the hallway mirror. I was smiling, a wide, splitting grin that I couldn't control, couldn't stop. My face ached with the effort of it, but the smile remained, growing wider, stretching further. "No," I tried to say, but it came out as laughter. Behind me, in the mirror's reflection, the Henderson family stood watching, still smiling, always smiling. And now I understood they weren't just trapped in this house. They were part of it. The house had consumed them, transformed them into extensions of itself, puppets to lure in new victims, new families. I've been here for 6 months now. The house put me back outside after that first day. My car was fixed, my injuries healed. Everything back to normal. I go to work, I run errands, I wave to neighbors. But I can't leave the property for more than a few hours. I can't tell anyone what's happening. And I can't stop smiling. The house is hungry again. It's been putting up for sale signs in the yard without my permission. Patricia called yesterday. She has a young couple interested in the property, a couple with 2 small children. I want to warn them. I want to scream the truth when they come for the showing. But I know what will happen. I'll smile and laugh and tell them how happy I am here, how perfect this house is for a family, because that's what the house makes me do. And when they move in, when they can't leave, when their faces split into permanent grins, I'll have company again. We'll be happy together. The house always gets what it wants. We're all smiling here at 1847 Maple Street. Won't you come smile with us?